Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. So welcome back to another episode of League Discussion. So today, we're actually going to talk about mainly one topic. There may be gameplay in the background. If I've got any, great. If I don't, then unfortunately you'll just have my face. Feel free to minimize if that's the case and just listen to it kind of like a podcast. But today's topic is going to be all around the report system in League of Legends. Like, is it good enough? Does it work? Because there is a lot of opinions about it, because a lot of people don't think it works great. Some people want it to be different, and this is the whole conversation we're going to have about it, because I think this is potentially one of the biggest differences in difference of opinions of a conversation that potentially is in League of Legends. You know, who should get punished? What should get punished? How severe should the punishment be? You know, the whole topic we spoke about recently, permabans. Like, should they even be a thing? Do you think your reports are worth anything? Do you get feedback from them? Like, it's a very broad topic, and that's why we're only going to cover this one topic for today's League discussion, because I think we can go in depth on all different avenues. And this is one that I'd love to hear back from you guys. Like, it is one that I think a lot of opinions, I'd say a lot of people have passionate opinions about, because either, the way that I see it, either you're a non-toxic player and all you want is the best League of Legends possible and have a nice time, and you want the punishment system to be quite harsh because you don't want your experience ruined from other people. And then the opposite to that is you are maybe a more of a toxic person, and you think that video games should have that toxicity element because for whatever reason. And you're like, oh no, there should be never bans for being toxic in chat. You know, there's the mute function, so why should someone get banned? Those are the two kind of opposites. And I think most people, you could probably put yourself in one of those categories. And there will be some middle ground. Like, there will be some people kind of probably going, oh, I hate toxic people, but maybe they shouldn't get permabanned. Maybe they should just get perma-muted or something. So there will be some middle ground, but most of you, I'd imagine, are in one of the two camps. I'd imagine most people are in the camp that they want harsher punishments, because we all want, like, a nicer game of League. But there will be a decent proportion, even probably watching this video, that are like, you know, there should be no punishments or something like that. So let's talk about it. So the report system right now, how does it work? Do I think it's effective? So all it is at the moment is, at the end of a game of League, if someone has been what you deem report worthy, you do that right click on their name at the end and you just say report player. And for whatever reason, you write it down, or you click the boxes, and you can type a little note. I don't know personally, and again, this is something that I think Riot should come out with clear, this is how it works. I don't know if leaving a note does anything. Does a Riot, because we know that these systems, and Riot has said, one of the reasons they got rid of the tribunal, which we will talk about the tribunal later, but they said it was too slow for having humans looking at cases. So we know that most of the reports and most of the punishments in League of Legends nowadays is done automatically. It's automated by a computer, by an AI, whatever. So does the notes matter? Is that just a placebo? I don't know. But whatever reason, reports equals potential punishment. Do I think that's effective? Well, obviously, how else are you going to do it? So, sure. But do I personally think that, I report people, have I seen enough punishment to kind of go, Well, I will say personally, and this is where it's going to be very different depending who you are, most days that I log into League of Legends, I get one of those cards saying instant feedback report, and someone has been punished by one of my reports. Most days, I'd probably say maybe 4 times a week when I log on, I get one of those messages. So for me, I actually think the system must be working. Because again, the way that you've got to say it, because so a lot of people misunderstand those little cards. Those cards only ever pop up to the people that actually their report made the punishment happen. Not all the people that reported that one person will get that card. For example, let's say somebody's inting, and they int 10 games in a row, and for 9 games, they got reported, and everyone's like, oh, we didn't get that feedback that he got banned. or punished at least. But then on the 10th game, someone reported him and he got punished after that report. Those are the people that will get that card saying instant feedback. The other 9 won't get that card. That's how that works. So you might be someone right now kind of going, I never get those. Clearly the system doesn't work. But in reality, you just might be not being the final report for somebody. That is one thing to mention. Where obviously for me, it does seem that I'm the final report in a lot of these cases. I don't know why. Again, there was a rumor circulating a while back. I don't know if this rumor is true or not. Again, I've heard mixed things. Even from rioters, I've heard mixed things on like the red posts and stuff. Sometimes people say that when you're more accurate with your reports and you're not toxic yourself, your reports have more swing to them. So with me, with someone like me who's never been punished, who I would think I'm quite accurate with reporting people, when I report somebody, does that mean in the riot system, do they take that more seriously? Do they look at my reports and go, oh, that report has more meaning? And again, nothing because I'm a YouTuber or anything, but because I'm not toxic, I've never been punished, and I only report people that deserve it, from my opinion, and maybe I'm quite accurate. So maybe that's a thing, and maybe for the people that, let's say, are a bit ragey about the system, well, maybe they're a bit ragey and just report everybody. They lose a game of League and they report 4 of their teammates, which obviously that isn't what you should do. And maybe because the system kind of goes, oh, they just report everybody for no reason, we're not going to take their report seriously at all. I don't know if that's confirmed. Would I be surprised if they've got that system? No. Again, I have heard they've got that system in place, but I've also heard they don't have that system in place. So I don't know if that is true. But that would make sense to me if they do have that, because that maybe explains why I get the messages so much. So for me, the current report system, I think it works as well as it can. Like, the only thing that I think they could actually do to improve it really is a couple things. One, and I'm sure we're all in. I hope we're all in agreement here, at least. Even if you are a toxic individual, a lot of toxicity. I admit a lot of toxicity goes towards normal players, but a lot of toxicity also goes towards like other toxic people. So let's say an inter or a troll pick person, someone who is toxic by chat will be toxic towards that person, which still isn't good. But I do see that as a problem. One thing I think they should definitely do is have a report system before the game starts. So, when you're in Champion Select and whether you've been held hostage, that, somebody who has not been given their role is saying, I'm taking that role. Well, that's a report right there, but you can't report that person. The only way that you can report that person is if the game actually goes through the whole way and you get to the end game screen and then you can click report. And there isn't even a clear category to choose in that topic, by the way. So I think there should be a report function in Champion Select before the game happens, that if the game suddenly dodges, the report still goes through. If the game dodges because somebody has troll picked and you have to dodge because of that troll gets no punishment and Riot has no idea they're doing it. But if there's a report system before the game in Champion Select, at least they can get reported there. And finally, I think there needs to be another category or something like a wording has to change, specifically when it comes to that type of thing. Whether it be a troll pick or, trying to steal someone's role. They've been given AD carry, but they're saying, no, I'm going mid. It's like, well, no, I've been given mid. You can't do that. So there needs to be a report category for that type of thing. And I think that's going to help a lot. Recently, I will say, because it was a massive myth, and it's why I guess a lot of toxic people got banned. I think it was about like 6 to 8 months ago, roughly, that Riot came out and said that they started to use pre-game lobby and end-game lobby in the report cards. That they actually use those chat logs because they apparently never used to. So you could be as toxic as you wanted to in Champion Select and toxic as you wanted to in the end game, and Riot wouldn't know about it. But in the last 9 months or whatever, they do now look at those, and they never announced it officially, and that's why a lot of people got banned and stuff 9 months ago, roughly, because they started using them without officially announcing it. So it's good that they use those. So they do use Champion Select text and Endgame Lobby text, because again, a lot of people are toxic in there. But like I said earlier, it's great that they look at Champion Select Lobby to see toxicity or stuff like that, but it's no good if someone dodges and then no one cares about it. Because again, the argument I think Riot has is, oh, you can submit a Riot support ticket. I don't really think they care about them too much personally. And again, you guys know I like Riot. I work with Riot. I've done events with them very, very recently. I don't think they take those too seriously. Again, there's been people who have left comments recently, and again, I will say you have to be a certain type of person to do it with a lot of free time, but there's been people saying that they've got 100 screenshots of toxicity, of, racism, toxicity, death threats and stuff, and they've submitted it to Riot, and those players are still playing the game. So obviously, I can't really defend Riot on that. That shouldn't be a thing. To me, and again, this is where the conversation can be had. Where do you draw the line on punishment? To me, if somebody is... My basic definition is if someone is going out their way to make your experience worse when they don't have to, that, in my opinion, deserves a punishment. And then it depends, the severity of what they're doing depends the severity of the punishment. So if they are, just being a little bit annoying, a little bit toxic, well, maybe give them a chat restriction. It just kind of shuts them up a bit, makes them, a little bit like a slap on the wrist, kind of going, shut up, stop being annoying. And they kind of go, oh, okay, I was being annoying. That's fine. I think that is worth the punishment. That is worth the crime, if you will. Then the severity to me picks up quite a bit. Like if you get into the harassment type languages of the racism, the death threats and all that, to me, I'm fairly harsh on that, but I wouldn't really have a policy other than ban. Sure, whether it be, the most severe case would be permaban instantly, but you don't have to do that. Like, I would hope, again, this is where it goes a little bit on the fence. I rate most humans to have the intelligence to get punished and then kind of go, I shouldn't do that anymore. The problem is, not every human is intelligent enough to do that. So start them with a small ban, which is, again, what Riot currently do, is they start with them with a small ban, and then that small ban, what that is supposed to do, and this is where toxic people don't get it, and this is the difference, that small ban is not there purely as a punishment. That small ban is there for you to start changing. That's what it's there. It's there for you to kind of realize, God, I've been so bad that they're not letting me play the game for 1 or 2 days. Okay, I'm going to stop doing that now. And if you're intelligent enough to kind of think that way, which you should be if you're a human, that's what it's for. It's to kind of make you... It's a forced break to make you self-reflect. The problem is, a lot of the League community, whether it be... I don't know, man, without coming across really bad, either they're too young or they're too dumb. They don't think that way, and they just continue being toxic. In the video that we did, the talking about the permabans, should they be lifted or not? There was people in that video that were like, I got all the warnings and I still was toxic. And to me, that's mind-boggling. Like, I cannot understand that at all. Because what I've said before in the past is toxic people, they do care about the game. I don't believe they care more about the game than others. No way. But they do care about the game, clearly. So why would they continue behavior that is going to make them not play the game? And obviously the conversation, and a big one that people say is, permabans are useless because all that person does is make a new account. True, but it's a punishment that I think, again, it should serve as self-reflection. While that person is leveling up a new account, I would hope they kind of go, okay, this time I'm not getting permabanned, I'm going to change my ways. That's what it's for. Like, if Riot really wanted to do like that, then they would, lock every single account to one mobile phone. Like, there are ways that Riot could make it so you only could have one account. Like, it would be very hard not to. Where they don't do that. They make it really easy, just have an email and you can make a new account. So it's more for self-reflection than I think anything else, but a lot of people don't self-reflect. So the conversation now is, if those people aren't going to self-reflect ever, and all they're going to do is continue making new accounts, what should the punishment be? And this is where I'd actually like to hear from you guys, because what do? Do you just keep permabanning and then they make new accounts? Permaban, new accounts. Or do you find a different type of punishment? Do you... right now in League, they've got something called low priority queue, that if you are somebody that DCs or lags and stuff like crazy, then occasionally you can jump into low priority queue. That is apparently that's all it is. All those people that DC or AFK because of bad connections, that is what that queue is about. So instead of having low priority queue, do you have purely a toxic queue that if you are somebody who's toxic, you only play with other toxic people? The problem with that is that you've then got a very, very toxic environment that you could argue isn't going to help people get better. You know, you could say that, oh, you know, they don't want to go back there. You know, say you've got like 100 games in the toxic queue to get out. You know, you'd hope that they're like, oh god, I never want to be in toxic queue again. It's kind of like jail, I guess. So maybe it would help people reform there, or people would just, I guess, fully embrace that I'm just now in toxic queue because I'm not going to get permabanned because let's say they got rid of permaban because they just got toxic queue. It's a really fine line. That I don't know what the answer is. You know, this is where I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you think Riot should do? And we're talking about the people here that, like, won't get better. Won't become, you know, the average part of the League of Legends community. They refuse. Whether it be by choice, like they actually choose, this is how I want to play League, I want to play Toxic, or they can't, you know, they have zero control or whatever. What do you do? Because it's a rough one. Because like I said in a commentary not too recently, if I worked for Riot, you know, who knows, one day, and I was in the department that was in charge of like the banning systems, I would definitely be a lot more harsh. Under my control, there would be more bans, there'd be more chat restrictions, there'd be more permabans. And somebody said like, oh, you can't really do that because a lot of the League community is toxic. And again, to me, although I partially agree that you can't ban out a lot of your player base, isn't it sad that a lot of the player base would be so, like, there's enough of the player base that is toxic that you have to be worried about actually banning a big percentage of your player base? I don't know. Like, is there a way, like, if you're somebody that was toxic, what made you stop being toxic? What do you think Riot could do to help toxic people? Is there anything like that? This is where we can kind of form a conversation and hopefully kind of just, I guess, come up with something ourselves, like within our own little community. And again, I know Riot's looking at Riot is looking at content creator content a lot more nowadays, so maybe they'll stumble on this video and look at the comment section. I obviously can pass it along, but it's more for my own community to see what you guys think, because I've always found the HuzzyGames community is a relatively good one. I'd like to think. The vast majority of you seem to be really smart individuals. Again, the occasional dum-dum does slip through the cracks, and maybe we'll see a couple of them in the comments, but hopefully not. I believe in you guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Because again, we don't want a toxic game. And here's the thing: there may be some people watching this video go, "No, I do want a toxic game. That's what I love. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy being toxic." Again, I'll never see that point of view really. Because you know, I know some people are gonna like find this a weird comparison, and it's an extreme comparison. To me, the way that I kind of think about it, a toxic person in League is like the equivalent of like a criminal right in real life. That's kind of what it's like. Obviously with less extremes, one's against the law, one isn't. But like, so if you are somebody that loves toxicity, it's kind of like you're living the criminal lifestyle. And again, me being kind of like a goody two shoes and that, it's never gonna appeal to me ever. So it's just something that, I don't know, maybe some of you can open my eyes and kind of just say like stuff that would help toxic people, or why is it a thing? Because I know like some of the why is people think that they're better than others, and that is very, very often not the case. Because I've looked at toxic people and looked within their games, and very often toxic people are the worst people in the game, and they could have good KDAs, but it's they're getting KDAs by just focus on KD and not about the victory. That is something that I've always seen, is that usually the toxic person is actually the worst in the game. Sure, they may be getting good KDs, but KD doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. So I've seen that a lot, is that they believe they're the best in their current game, and other people are letting them down, when a lot of the time it's actually the other way around, if they actually did look at what they were doing on the average game. So I don't know. Let me know. It's an interesting topic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm looking forward to the comment section, to be honest, so feel free to go nuts. I will read through, I'll pretty much read through every single comment. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it. Like the video. Let me know what other topics you want me to do. Again, we will be returning to gameplay videos. I will just say I'm not feeling 100% at the moment, so I apologize for that. But we will return to them very soon, and also Challenger Spectates, because I really do enjoy doing those too. Yeah, like, subscribe. See you guys next time.